Okay, we've got our top three finishers from today's 82nd running of the Daytona 200 at Daytona International Speedway. Our winner, Josh Herron, second place, Tyler Scott, and third place, Hayden Gillum. We're going to talk to Hayden and then let him get out of here because he's, if the weather holds up, he's got a King of the Baggers race. So, Hayden, this is your first Daytona podium, and it looked to me like early on you made some mistakes that sort of dropped you from the lead draft. Is that the case?
Yeah. I felt good. I was just kind of chilling in the back of the group, just hanging out, and I don't know, like halfway through the first stint, a couple guys came by me going into the chicane and kind of came across me towards the wall, and I had to kind of avoid them and ended up having to go through the chicane in the hay bales, and luckily came out with Hayes and I think one of the Yart guys, and was able to kind of get going again, but was only able to run the pace that these guys were going, so I wasn't losing a ton of time, but I had lost a bunch in that mistake. And then we had a couple really, really, really good pit stops, and was able to make some time up. And every time Bobby would get away from me, I'd make it up in the pits and be right back on him. And and then the last couple laps, I was kind of by myself, and then Bobby caught up to me, and I thought we were fighting for fourth place. So I was kind of ready for the race to be over. I'm just hanging out, and I let him go by. I'd kind of just played with the draft to the line to make sure I could get there. And then the last lap he made a little mistake on the infield, and so I pushed and came across the line, looked at the scoreboard, was in third. So it was, a lot of luck. I think the crew, having the Vezra Racing guys come back into this and put a bike out there for me and be able to wear the pink and yellow for them was pretty special. And, to be able to put it on the box for those guys was awesome. One up from last year with fourth last year. And I wish I wouldn't have made those mistakes and could have tried to at least be a little bit closer to these guys, but that's all right. This is only my third 200, so I'm good with this. Slow progress.
You're ahead of the game. You can leave if you want, if you need to. Thank you, and congrats.
Good luck.
Second place today is Tyler Scott. He was our pole sitter going into the 200. I think he had a pretty long day, but ended up with a pretty good result.
Yeah, the race was good. Got a decent start. Made a big mistake coming across the start finish. The one lap I went really sideways. Maybe it was because there were so many people around drafting, and it kind of put me at the back of the lead group there. And a little bit later in the race, I kind of lost Richie's draft, and I feel like that would have helped me to stay close. And most of the race, I was just riding by myself. Rode with Bobby Fong before the one pit stop there, and it was good. And the pit stops, we were really clean, no issues, and just rode by myself in third the whole race. And unfortunately for Richie, he ran out of gas, but we secured second.
Did you see him up ahead and know that's what was going on?
I saw him coming out of the banking, turn NASCAR 4. So it was, it sucked for him and the team, and but good for us.
Yep. Okay, our winner today, Josh Herron, for the third time. He waited 13 years between the first two and only 363 days between the second and the third. So congratulations. You also became the sixth three-time winner in Daytona 200 history. And there's some pretty cool names in there like Matt Mladen and Kenny Roberts. So not a bad club to be a part of. From watching your race, it seemed perfect. The on-the-track part, the pit stop, it's like it was a pretty immaculate race. Is that accurate, or was there other stuff going on we don't know about?
Yeah, that was two dream pit stops. I'm not going to lie, I didn't have much faith in my team going into the race after the pit stop challenge yesterday, and some of the practice we did yesterday, I was nervous. But they impressed me, and I owe them an apology for doubting them for sure. They've been working super hard this week to make everything as perfect as they can, and that was as close to perfect as we could have gotten, and I owe the entire race to those guys for doing those two amazing pit stops, and to have my teammate Loris Baz doing the fuel. I don't know when the last time that happened, when you know your teammate and a MotoGP podium finisher was the fuel guy in the 200. So that was it was cool to see. I don't know if it was the first pit stop. It was the second pit stop when I was by myself. I ran out of fuel entering the pits, and the bike was just sputtering all the way. I had to have lost 2-3 seconds for the sputtering, because it happened before I got to pit lane. And I was scared. At some point during the second stint, my pit board guy, who it was his first ever time, I think, doing my pit board, decided to switch the numbers from white numbers to green numbers, and I cannot see the green numbers. That's been like a thing the last 2 years on this team, is don't use green numbers with me. For some reason, the green numbers came out, and I thought the whole time it was a different guy in front of my guy, so I literally had no idea when to come in, other than the last lap. I told the guys this week before the race, let's add something to the pit board. So we added another piece of the kind of plastic cardboard, and we put my smiley face on top of it, so it was a little bit different when they threw the inboard than all the others, and that was the only reason I saw my inboard. So for whatever reason that I thought of that, I'm super happy that we were able to get it done. They didn't do it until today after the first practice, so it was like last second, and without that, we would have been screwed. So a lot of drama for me, even though it seemed like there wasn't. But that was a dream finish. I don't remember what the finish was like in 2010 when I won, but it was a little bit of a gap. I don't know how big, but it's hard doing 30 plus laps, 40 laps by yourself and trying to stay focused and thinking about fuel, because right before the race, my crew chief said, hey, don't lead the race. I'm too nervous about the fuel. Do not lead the race. And then I ended up in a position where I'm leading for the last 2 stints. So we got lucky, I think. And man, I owe it all to my team, Ducati USA, Ducati Corsa, for putting me on an amazing motorcycle for the last 3 years. Warhorse Racing, HSBKRacing.com. I'm so bummed that we weren't able to run OnlyFans on the bike. It is what it is, and at least I got to run my helmet, so I'm happy that I got to support them, because that's 3 years in a row that we've had OnlyFans on the helmet, 3 Daytona pole positions, 2 wins, and countless laps led. So I feel like they're a little bit of good luck. So thank you to Dylan and everybody there for their support. Thank you to my family, and I'm just so happy to be up here. So thank you.
Your memory's probably better than mine since you were actually in the race, but was the 2010, did it go flag to flag, or did it have a red flag at any point?
I think it went flag to flag, yeah. And last year, I guess we did have I don't know what the lead was, but we had a big lead. And so I'm just so lucky. This is such a lucky race. It's a lot of preparation, a lot of hard work, a lot of not giving up, but it's 90% luck, I think. And I'm sure you saw that today with a lot of guys running out of fuel, crashing, getting taken out, mechanicals, pit stops, not going the right way. And there's so many variables. And in a normal sprint race for us, it's 20 laps. This is one time a year for us. So experience definitely comes into play. I don't know how many Daytona 200s I've won, but I've gotten my butt kicked countless times. And now as a veteran of the sport, I'm getting some wins. So it feels good. And like I said, I owe it all to my team. So thank you to them.
After the last pit stop, were you aware that Richie was got to 5 seconds, or you had no clue because of the board?
Oh, yeah. The last pit stop, he switched back to white for some reason. I think he ran out of letters or something. I'm not really sure, or numbers in the second one, but thank God he went back to white numbers so I could see it. And I was getting nervous because I was thinking, okay, I ran out of gas in the second stint, so I need to, if I have a lead right now, the last 3 laps, 4 laps need to be 3/4 throttle on the banking somehow. So I was trying my hardest to get as big of a gap as I could, and I'd gain some, lose some. The lappers were insane. I mean, so many of them got out of the way, but so many of them almost caused a lot of accidents. And like I said, it's a lot of luck involved. So, yeah.
Okay, any questions?
Josh Herron, this isn't a question, it's more of a statement. So that's 3 Daytona 200 wins for you, and you join a group of guys that includes Kenny Roberts and Matt Mladen. So that's a pretty good group of guys to be part of. Good job.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's it's always been a dream of mine. Growing up seeing Duhamel, I don't know how many he had, 5 wins. Danny Eslick got 4 of them. Brandon's got the 2 right before me, and it's definitely a goal of mine to have as many wins here as I can. I am bummed that now you have to somehow we'll be donating to get my spot out on the beach at a statue because that's something that I've always wanted, and I've seen my heroes out there, and at some point it wasn't to the winner anymore, it was to whoever donated, and I was bummed because I felt weird to put my own thing there. So if any of my sponsors hear this, I'd be stoked if somebody did that because it's something I've wanted since I was 18 years old, and I'd love to have my name in history here. So, and thanks to Daytona. They invited me out to Daytona 500 this year, and I wasn't able to make it, and it's definitely something I'll be doing next year, and being able to see my name or my photo in the bridge coming through to the track, it's special. This place has always had a special spot in my heart, and I'll always come here no matter what team I'm on. I'll do whatever I can to come and race this. So, and it's so good to see all the international riders coming to do this. I mean, huge props to MotoAmerica for making this thing big again, and seeing guys like Peter Hickman and the Yart guys, and just all these guys that are coming. It shows that they're doing a good job with the series, and I'm proud to be here.
Anybody else?
Yeah, he has a question. But he's a little shy. So he said that for kids like himself, aspiring to be riders, what advice or what suggestions do you have to give them, a message for kids?
Just never give up. I mean, I know that that's a message that everybody says, but I mean, it's always, I've had a lot of setbacks in my career, as every rider does, and it's always just pushing through and trying even harder the next time. So that's the only advice that I really could do is never give up, and to the dad, be a good dad.